All right, hey everybody, it is live on KEXP, and I'm your host, Troy Nelson, from listener-powered, independent 90.3 FM, KEXP in Seattle, and 92.7 in San Francisco. And also, we are streaming 24/7 at KEXP.org and our free mobile apps. And these live performances are made possible by people like you. So thank you so much for supporting KEXP so we can bring you these exclusive, one-of-a-kind performances. I am very excited because we brought this band in to see if the KEXP Live Room will survive this in-studio. And I'm talking about the legendary Death from Above 1979. And if you're all ready, let's do this.
Let's do it.
Sweet child life, untouched by shadows and cold. Grow up fast, told you no good now. Just inside with nothing to ya. I'm in modern life. Celebrate the great dawn of utopia. A modern guy. In a modern time, I'm a modern guy. In a modern time. Cast a spell from ancient magic. something about it. Love is action. Love is action. I walk in, the kid starts dancing. Oh, oh. My heart goes boom, boom, boom. 1 + 1 is 3, that's magic. You and me, that's so romantic. Love is action. Love is action. Love is years ago, we would be, yeah, right now. If I knew, I wouldn't have wasted my time. All the colors, all the times, all the times, when it cries, each day basement wasted just as late I did. Romantic. 1 + 1 is 3, that's magic. 1 + 1 is so romantic. 1 + 1 is 3, that's magic. Love is action. Love is action. free animal. I'm a free animal.
I cannot begin my day with a confrontation.
Yes, Death from Above, 1979. What a sound. For just two people, no guitars. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for stopping by the KEXP
Thanks for having us. It's quite an invitation.
Awesome.
We're honored to be here.
Yeah, so happy to have you. And I just love the history of this band as well. And so if you don't mind, let's rewind the tape and go all the way back to the beginnings of this band. And before you were Death from Above, 1979, you had another band that was supposed to play in Detroit with the Blood Brothers on September 12th of 2001. And you bring all the gear upstairs into the living room in preparation to go to the show. And then, of course, the September 11th attacks happened. That show's not happening. How did this day, how is it related to the sound of Death from Above, having all that gear in that living room and not going to that show?
I mean, I felt a real sense of, like, the world having exploded.
Right.
And I was in art school at that time and didn't really want to be there, I guess. That wasn't in the cards for me. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, I personally decided that I wanted to do what I wanted to do, not what other people wanted me to do. Because I felt like, actually, the future was quite dark, and why not just go for it? And I think Jesse had a different experience because he was the one that plugged in all the gear.
Right. Well, didn't Jesse start just like all the amps are there? Like, well, I guess I'll pick up this bass and plug into this amp.
Yeah, really not that different from what you just said. Mm-hmm. And also, to what Seb said, I think being older, having grown up during the Cold War and like emergency broadcast system warnings and stuff like that those of us who are over 40 remember during our cartoons telling us to go to a bunker. Like, you had this sort of sense of maybe everything's going to end all the time, but I think that helps you enjoy the moment more.
Right.
I was eating cereal, and I spilled the cereal during watching it on TV. And then later that afternoon, after Jesse plugged in all these amps, actually, it's
the same amplifiers, right?
Yeah.
We went to a roti shop up the street, and I spent my last, whatever, $17 on goat roti, because I was like, well, might as well ball out.
Wow. And so Death from Above 1979 starts, and now we're celebrating 20 plus years of the classic album You're a Woman, I'm a Machine, which of course is beloved by many. Was your decision to re-record the album part due to getting a sound that maybe you didn't capture then, or does it have anything to do with not owning the masters, or a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. I think the main motivation really was that if you celebrate something that exists already, it's almost like it's an homage or a eulogy in a sense. You're like, this thing is dead, and we're just celebrating it because it's like you go to the gravesite. By re-recording it and then playing it live, the thing is living, and we're experiencing it at the same time. So it gives it that sense for us that we're actually experiencing it, not just honoring something. The record means something different to us than it does to those who listen to it. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was, it was a time of uncertainty. You're a young guy, young person, and you don't really know what you're doing. And I didn't really enjoy the process as much as I probably could have, because it was so mysterious. I didn't like being isolated in a drum room with, behind glass with Jesse and Al, I didn't like being separated. Yeah. So my memories of it are lonely. Yeah. So I wanted to do something that was like, gave it a different feeling.
I love that. Like giving it, it is still an alive and breathing thing, and breathing new life into this thing. Yeah. I love that.
It's also something where I've spent 20 years thinking I could do it better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like hearing things and being like, or it's actually the real moment was when I go listen to the record now, and I realize that I don't really play the songs the same way at all, and haven't in decades.
Right.
And it's like, oh, maybe it's going to be better. I don't think it's actually better. It's just sort of for me.
Yeah.
At that point, it's
you can't.
Can I do it?
I mean, it's a cult classic record. Right. Like, why would we want to disrupt that in a way, or say we're going to do it better? We're going to, we really want to improve it. You can't improve it.
Yeah, you're not changing the original.
Like, I have notes about Deep Purple records, but I shouldn't. You know,
and that leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, is that the album cover of that album has, become iconic and really has become the band's logo. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us the connection between that album cover and the album In Rock by Deep Purple?
Yeah, we were making this music together, and at the time, at least in the scene we were coming out of, it was very uncool to put your face on the cover, or have the people be on the cover of the record. It was kind of, whatever. Mm-hmm. And Jesse's previous band, Black Cat 13, he had made these kind of, duochromatic images, interpretive or whatever, impressionistic images of the band. I thought that was really cool. I really loved In Rock at the time, and I thought it'd be cool if we kind of emulated that thing. And I don't remember the exact trajectory of it, but one day Jesse just walks in with two elephant noses from like a toy shop.
Come to the bathroom. Let me take pictures of us with the appropriate lighting.
We stood in the hallway or whatever in the bathroom, and he took pictures, and then he went on his computer and drew these pictures.
There's also a story that I wouldn't normally tell, but I'll tell for this audience that I think might appreciate it. I used to be involved with 31G Records down in San Diego, and we spent a lot of time in Kinko's making stickers on sheets in Kinko's. And one night we were making stickers for two bands, The Locust and The Crimson Curse. and we printed a whole bunch, and the page was off, and the band name was missing. And JP, who runs the label and in those bands, he was like, "Oh, no, the name's missing. We got to do it again." And I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, I don't think it needs a name. And we did keep making them, but privately, I just carried that around forever after, thinking, wait a second, all my favorite logos don't have any words on them.
Right.
They don't need it. And like the better it is, the less you need. So when I was drawing it, I kept making it like as small as I possibly could. I'm like, does it still look like? Can I still tell what it is? And make it big and small and big. On a stolen computer with a Pentium 1 processor.
Wow.
And a 7 megabyte hard drive.
Awesome.
Took a long time to draw.
Would take a long time. Well, Jesse, also, didn't your grandfather gift you a ceramic elephant as well? Is that
No, that's my grandfather was gifted a ceramic elephant back in India by my great-grandfather, and he broke it, and then he said...
It was his only toy.
It was his only toy. He broke it, and my great-grandfather said, "That's it. No more. No more toys." So when I guess throughout his adult life, and certainly when they came to Canada, and we all lived in one house, so there's just elephants everywhere.
Right.
And actually, I do the same thing to my own children. I'm like, "Don't you want an elephant? Don't you want this stuffed elephant? Well, look at this one." And there are a ton of elephants in my home right now, too.
And speaking of Canada, so much great music has come out of Canada. But let's talk about a couple of some legendary Canadian heroes. Sebastien, what can you tell the listeners who may not be familiar about Glenn Gould?
What the listeners aren't familiar with Glenn?
People that might not be familiar with Glenn Gould.
He's a great eccentric pianist who went to New York, I guess, on Columbia Records and recorded the Goldberg Variations by Bach. He was a very charismatic, weird guy. He would sing when he played. They kept telling him to stop. He brought his own stool that was like a little bit lower, so he's kind of hunched like this. And he was an incredible shredder. He's an incredible piano player, one of the greatest. And he retired from performing, got really into technology, sound design, did not like the pressures of performing, always imagined that someone was looking at him and expecting him to mess up, especially with that kind of technical, in that technical form. I don't feel burdened by that same thing. But yeah, he's just a real national treasure, a real special guy. Yeah,
a mad genius, really.
Sure. Yeah.
That was an amazing answer. That was really, I had no idea what to expect. I'm so impressed.
I saw an interview, maybe it was like a What's in My Bag or something, and that it was like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, and that's what introduced me to Glenn Gould.
Oh, cool,
you introduced me to
Oh,
it.
wow.
That's why I wanted
Amazing.
to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Well,
because
you're welcome.
It is he's an amazing human.
Yep.
And what an amazing life. What you have so many fans. What can we expect from Death from Above 1979 going forward here?
Well, we have, in the past couple of years, taken the reins on our career entirely, management and all that stuff. We do it all. So we're not tethered to the music industry per se, which, is both good and bad in certain regards. But we want to be more free to just, put out music when we want to, not necessarily depend on album cycles. We're like in the fourth year of an album, cycle right now. COVID really had a lot to do with the. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of a looking forward band. We always have been. So the moment we're in now, which is we played mostly stuff from our last record, but we're on tour celebrating the 20th and 21st anniversary now of You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. And this was, a moment of looking back and kind of honoring the band. I don't ever want to do this again. If other people want to do it for us, they can do it. It's fine. But I don't want to personally do that anymore. So we're kind of getting this out of the way, finishing this up, and then it's just like
Forward.
Yep, forward.
Awesome. Well, we hope that you also come back to the KEXP studios. We'd love to have you again.
We would love to come back. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you so much. Death from Above 1979, bringing your awesome sound to the KEXP studios. And you've been listening to Live on KEXP, and thank you so much for listening in. And thanks to everybody who supports KEXP so that we can have these one-of-a-kind in-studio performances. Thank you.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.